Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the stage, as if for the first time, it's Chris and SLP! Amazing. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, so we haven't actually revealed what podcast we're going to be doing until now, but I'm going to start with a little bit of a clue as to what we're going to be discussing next. Are you ready for this?
I'm ready.
You're ready. She's ready. I would like, if I may, to take you on a strange journey. Ladies and gentlemen, how strange? How strange. Ladies and gentlemen, of course we're going to be discussing Richard O'Brien's
Rocky Horror!
The Rocky Horror Show! Now this is a cult classic musical. I'm a sucker, aren't you, for a cult musical?
It's fantastic.
And of course we've got an appropriate themed cocktail at the bar for this one, and it's called Rose Tint My World. And if you haven't tried that, it's absolutely fucking toxic, isn't it?
Lethal.
Absolutely lethal. Now I adore this show. Yeah, and I don't know if you've seen the live version of this live from the Garrick. They did a charity performance of the Rocky Horror Show, and you can watch this on YouTube, and it's brilliant. And the part of the narrator is played by so many different actors. So every time the narrator appears on stage, a different actor comes forward. So there's Stephen Fry in there,
amazing.
narrating. There's Aid Edmondson, he does a little turn. Jennifer Saunders actually comes on and does a little stint. So if you haven't seen that, then make sure you watch that, and that's available online.
To watch. Brilliant. I haven't actually yet seen this one live in the thing. Where's Meg Wilson? Where's Meg? Meg, we're going in October. I don't know if you know this.
They're going in October.
We're going in October when it comes to Whole New. And I understand that obviously everyone dresses up. Yeah? As their favourite person. Who should I dress up as?
Who's she going to dress up as?
Magenta? Who said Rocky? Jesus. Oh, no. Magenta, I think that would be a pretty good one.
I've been many times to the live show.
Yes.
And I'm going to give you 20 guesses as to who I dress up as. Only once, actually. The second time I was the usherette and I had the tray with serving out. And there was a queue of people wanting a chocolate ice cream in the interval. That's a true story. Can I tell you something about the character of Frank?
Yes, please.
No, I'm really into podcasts. Interval Drinks clearly being my favourite podcast to listen to. But there's a comedy actor called Ray Peacock. I don't know if you're familiar with Ray Peacock, but he's involved in a podcast and he talks about Rocky Horror a lot because he's really into Rocky Horror. And he kind of poses the question as to why Frank is always played the same in every production that he's ever seen or part of. And I get that because Tim Curry was so iconic that people have to try and carbon copy that version.
Right.
But his kind of view, his stance on it, is if he was a real sort of transvestite, wouldn't it be funny if he was a burly, hairy guy who was a bit clumsy on heels?
Yeah.
Not in a comedic way, but in a way where the audience still love him because he's got sex appeal.
He
but
would
in a
still
different,
have to be so
a different
sexy,
way.
wouldn't he?
Absolutely that.
He would need that.
I've got some fun facts about the Rocky Horror Show.
Fabulous.
And I'm going to share them with you if that's okay with you.
Yes, please.
Did you know that Tim Curry in the film actually modelled his voice, and these are his words in an interview.
Yeah.
He modelled his interpretation of Frank was to model the voice on Queen Elizabeth II.
What? Are you joking?
This is legit. This is not fact or no fact. This is facts.
Thank God for that.
Before filming the Damn It Janet sequence, you know, where they've got the two there doing this kind of American and Gothic pose, Richard O'Brien thought it would be a good idea for the cast, and I quote, to smoke something a little exotic before the filming of that sequence, and that's what they did.
Great.
Sounds like an after-show party at my house, doesn't it? Steve Martin, this is another fact, Steve Martin was actually going to be playing Brad Majors.
Really?
Steve Martin was going to be playing Brad, but it was at the Olivier Awards, I think, where Barry Bostwick won the award for Best Actor in Grease, the musical, coming to a local theatre near you. That they decided to use him instead.
Oh.
Another one, another cast change. Mick Jagger was intended to play Frank originally. Mick Jagger was going to play play Frankenfurter. And Richard O'Brien, I think, came up with the idea of creating this brilliant and bonkers musical in a production of the musical Hair,
yes,
which Richard O'Brien and Tim Curry were both involved in. And he shared this idea with Tim Curry, and he said, I need to play Frank. So that's how that came about. So Frank ended up playing, Tim Curry ended up playing the part of Frank because of that involvement. Isn't that amazing?
It's so strange. We were talking about this in one of our other recordings, wasn't it? Had a decision just gone the other way, or had circumstances gone,
it'd be a very different show.
Iconic history moments in time. God, creepy.
Amazing, isn't it? The set builders in the Rocky Horror Show, and this again is a true fact, legit. The set builders. I've had a vodka. The set builders forgot to build a door in that kind of tiled wall sequence in Frank's laboratory.
Yeah.
So a last-minute decision, instead of Dr. Everett Scott going through the door, they decided last minute for him to crash in his wheelchair through the tiles.
Because they didn't have a door
for him to go through.
That's one way of getting around it, I suppose.
Pretty amazing, right?
That's brilliant.
And then my final fact for you,
go on,
and it's a question actually, and this is really, really good link actually,
okay,
what does the Wizard of Oz and the Rocky Horror Show have in common? Anybody?
A lot of gays like it.
A lot of gays like it. It's all about the gays. Yeah, I've just been outed live. But originally, Richard O'Brien wanted the opening scenes with Brad and Janet to be in black and white, and then only going into Technicolor once they arrived at the castle.
Oh, wow.
Isn't that amazing?
That would be cool.
Amazing, isn't
it? Gosh, I like that.
I like that too.
Well, I do like it how it is though, but I think it was an interesting idea.
But originally, that's how it was going to be. And I believe Tim Curry's mum went to her deathbed knowing that he'd ever played Frankenfurter, because she had really kind of devout, strong religious beliefs, and he didn't want his mum to know that that's what he was going to do. So she never knew that he was doing that.
How did he hide that?
Well, I don't know. But he did.
Wow. Jesus Christ. Speaking of Tim Curry, he was thrown out of a New York cinema when he tried to go and watch his own film. And he was told he rang up to try and book a place on the phone. And they said, "You're the third Tim Curry to try and book a place this week." And so he thought, well, right, crackers. And he turned up and he was thrown out for being an imposter. So he had to produce his passport. And they went, "Oh my God, oh sorry, Tim Curry." And he was just like, "No, don't want to anymore." And he flounced off into the
Can I tell you something else? I'm the real Tim Curry.
Oh, shit!
But another one, just off on that, which is really interesting. I haven't actually got this bit written down, but it is really, really interesting. In fact, I adore this little kind of Easter egg fact, that there is a cinema in America. There's a cinema in America that every Friday night at midnight, they show the Rocky Horror Show, and they've done this since the 70s. Now, hang fire, so that's a good fact.
I like that.
But during the pandemic, for 2 years, the owner of that cinema screened Rocky Horror to himself to keep the tradition going.
Oh,
isn't that amazing?
That's really sad.
This is really good, isn't it?
Yeah, it's really sweet.
What a lovely little fact that was.
Just to keep it going.
There is one swear word, believe it or not. There's only one swear word in the whole of the Rocky Horror Show. Only one swear word. Do you know what it is? You know, you're a fan, aren't you? It's in Planet Schmanet stroke Wise Up Janet Weiss. Yeah. Frank sings the lyric, a mental mindfuck can be nice. And that's the only swear word that ever appears in the whole thing.
Oh, wow.
Pretty amazing, yeah?
That's pretty nifty. Crikey. Speaking of Easter eggs, all my little facts are just jumping on the edge of yours. Just speaking of which, the crew on the film set held an Easter egg hunt, right? And we know, you know the term of having Easter eggs in films where it's like little hidden things for people
Little facts.
Yeah, little things to spot.
But actual Easter eggs?
They did an Easter egg hunt, and they hid some so well that then there are some still, like, there are them still on the film. So if you watch the very first, with the sweet transvestite and everything, when you see his throne, you can see a little coloured Easter egg just underneath.
You can see an actual Easter egg under his throne.
They hid them far too well.
I must have seen that movie 26,000 bazillion squillion times. Next time I watch that, I'm going to look for an actual Easter egg under Frank's throne.
Well, surely they'd have spotted it, like, if people can see it now. I don't know. I don't think they were looking hard enough, if I'm honest.
You had something to share about the lips, didn't you? You were telling me earlier, and I was like, oh my goodness.
Yeah, well,
you know, the lips in the actual motion picture, in the Rocky Horror Picture Show.
Yeah, I didn't
You had a
realise
really interesting fact that I didn't know.
The opening is what's her name? Patricia Quinn herself, who plays Magenta, but she's lip syncing to Richard O'Brien singing it.
So it's her lips that they use,
It's
but
her
Richard
lips going
O'Brien
up.
is actually
No.
singing.
Yeah.
Because in the original stage production, she actually sings that as Usherette. And then becomes Magenta later on.
Yeah.
But in the film, it's her...
Going, no. Well...
and those of you who didn't get tickets for Lip Sync Battle... well, you've sorely missed out there. What's your favourite song?
What's my favourite song?
What's your favourite song? Should we put this to the group? Does anybody have a favourite song from the Rocky Horror Show?
Oh, it's got to be Time Warp,
Sweet
hasn't it?
Transvestite.
Sweet
Anybody
Transvestite.
else? Touch Me. My Dressing Room, 5 minutes. Anything else?
Anything?
Science fiction.
Damn it, Janet.
Nobody's mentioned the fucking Time Warp.
Yeah.
That's iconic, right?
Surely that's the best
Absolutely,
one.
that's the best.
That wasn't originally in the script.
So yeah, that's a really good fact. So we shared some facts earlier over a cup of coffee, and Time Warp was not originally in the musical.
No?
But when they'd written or shown the musical in its entirety, it was actually only 40 minutes long. So Richard O'Brien said, well, I've been working on this song, and I need to put something else in. So that's why they decided to include the Time Warp, and I'm so glad they did.
I know, well, it's iconic, isn't it?
Absolutely.
That's the one song that surely everyone knows who's ever seen Rocky Horror.
So, many people in this room have been to one of my after-show parties, and those people that are stupid enough to have stayed past 5:30 a.m. are given shots of vodka, and this happens at every party, and I stage and direct, literally sitting on a chair, and I stage and direct in my kitchen the floor show, and I give people parts. Obviously I'm Frank every fucking time, but I give people parts, and we stage the floor show at 5 a.m, and I get text messages from my neighbours going, I don't know what that was at 5:30 this morning, but it was fucking brilliant. And I'm like, I know! My friends are talented, right?
Do you charge? Are you charging
I should charge.
You should charge. Chris, I've got a little quiz just for you, if that's all right.
A quiz just for me? Right, let's do it.
So, who do you think you are in the Rocky Horror?
Who do you think you are? I don't know.
Who would you sort of...
Of course I fucking know. I'm Frank, yeah? Clearly.
Surely. But let's find out officially, shall we? Courtesy of... BuzzFeed! Oh, thanks, BuzzFeed!
BuzzFeed!
Great!
Okay.
Now, Chris might not be that honest in some of these, so I do need your help, please. So, first things first, how would your friends describe you?
Have we got an option?
So, we've got some options. We've got strategic, strong, sensitive, ambitious, passionate, alluring.
Is that it?
Passionate? I think passionate. Passionate. Pick an iconic song from the Rocky Horror Picture Show.
Okay, here we go.
Damn it, Janet! Science fiction double feature over at the Frankenstein Place. I Can Make You a Man, Time Warp, or Touch It, Touch It, Touch It, Touch Me. Touch me!
I Could Make You a Man, surely.
Surely?
Yes, that's my answer.
Okie dokes. Pick a different horror film that they've listed here. So, Scream. Jennifer's Body. Never heard
I don't know what that is.
Okay.
It's a good movie, apparently. Is it a musical? Does it have singing and dancing in it? Then I don't want to know.
I haven't seen any of this. I've seen the next one.
I've literally seen nothing.
Hocus Pocus. I've seen that one.
Hocus Pocus. I like Hocus Pocus.
Yeah. Carrie.
Carrie, I quite like
With
Carrie.
the blood. Final Destination.
Final Destination.
Oh, it's got Elvis in it. Oh. Nightmare on Elm Street.
Hocus Pocus.
Hocus Pocus.
100%.
Hocus Pocus. Choose a move.
Choose a move?
Jump to the left. Step to the right. Hands on your hips. Bring your knees in tight. Pelvic thrust.
Pelvic thrust!
Yeah! Or go insane. It was always going to be the pelvic thrust. Pick a musical. Grease. Oh. Little shop of horrors. Les Mis. Singing in the rain. Just singing in the rain. Chicago. Or Spring Awakening.
Fuck.
What do you
Little
reckon?
Shop has to be.
Little Shop. That is the correct answer. Then the next one is like a picture one, but okay. Choose either a castle, a nice house, or a shed to have your car break down in front of.
So if I was to have my car break down,
Yeah?
it's got to be a castle, right? Castle. I'm going castle.
All right then. And lastly, pick a shade of lipstick. You can't really see that from
Pick
there.
a shade of lipstick.
They're all red. So
Yeah, they are very red.
Which one
I'm
is
going for the
it?
first one.
First
I'm going
one,
for A.
With the
Yeah.
that one.
So I've got Bell's palsy.
Oh, well, Chris Holmes, you strive for perfection and will stop at nothing until you get what you want. It also helps that you're pretty charming. You're Dr. Frankenfurter!
Oh! Of course. How many minutes have we done?
Validated.
Validated. And that's true. On that note,
Yeah?
shall I?
Go on!
No, who said no? Who said no?